almost, it is quite a difficult
It's kind of sad,
thing.
isn't it?
It is.
I don't know if how many other communities are having this debate about the color of your skin and the color of your eyes. And for Asians, and whether people want to agree with me right now or not, but for an Asian person, if you get told you don't look Asian, you take it as a compliment. I mean, that's just true. I mean, if you tell an Asian girl that she looks European, she'll say, "Oh, thank you," because there's something wrong with looking Asian. Why do you think that is, and how long is it really going to take us to be? You say 100 years, but I don't think I can wait 100 years for all of us to be okay with the way we look.
Sorry, can I interrupt? Is it about not looking Asian? Is it just about looking different? Like if you tell a white person that they look Hispanic, they'd probably take that as a compliment. I think that people people think Hispanic people are more beautiful, some people think Chinese people. I think there are general cultures that are seen as more beautiful, and whereas we might think Indian women, generally there are cultures around the world that are possibly seen as more beautiful. So maybe the compliments in the fact that perhaps if you tell someone they look Hispanic, they'll be like, oh, that means I look pretty, because that's a culture that's generally seen as the women are beautiful, or Italian women who are seen as beautiful. Is it not down to that, not the fact that, oh, I don't look like I'm from Pakistan?
Well, I don't think our culture is, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm assuming that the reason people take it as a compliment is because South Asian people generally aren't considered to be the most attractive race. What is your take on that, Seema or Abdul?
Well,
I mean, Nadra, anybody. What is your take on that?
Sort of taking that aspect of skin as well, like, you know, if you're talking about skin and the makeup and everything, like, you take a lot, there are features there. You know, features are stronger almost than skin, and like how you were saying, when you came back off holiday, it's like people sort of couldn't recognize you. You know, what sort of made you so impatient that you couldn't just wait for the tan to sort of
fade?
Fade by itself. Yeah.
I mean, I waited a good 2 years and it still wouldn't fade. So I think everyone's got a kind of threshold for patience. And I thought, you know what, maybe there's for one way for me to get back to my original colour, and number two, being a businessman, I thought maybe I can capitalise on it.
Did you consider using a skin protection when you actually went on holiday?
I didn't know.
Oh, there you go. I
guess we think that we can't tan and we can't burn, but the reality is that...
I was sunbathing. I didn't know I was going to get darker. I thought Asian people didn't tan.
Who is that? When your clients that comes to you, are they usually women that are about to get married?
Not all of them, but there is quite a large number of women that want to get married and want to lighten their skin tone just before they get married.
You said something really interesting while we were off air, that you tell the women that if they're lightening their skin for their partner to like you better, that's probably not the wisest choice. So you do try to steer them in the right direction.
Definitely, I do.
Do they listen to you?
Never. Absolutely never. I think women have their ways and they've got their mindset, and they don't want, no one can change that really.
Seema, what message should we be sending to the young people that are watching us, young girls that are watching us in particular, about skin lightening and the color of our skin?
I think the first step is to actually have that support from members of our community, because again, it's quite an issue that it is upsetting because you're sort of rejecting your own.
So how do we change that?
I think we need to sort of figure out the issue here and really sort of find the pinning point, like what is causing it. We need to sort of look back and peel back the layers to find the particular cause. And I think a lot of people won't.
Well, we've talked about, like, you know, the British rule in India, and maybe that had something to do with it. We're looking at how media affects how we feel about ourselves. Now, there's really not much we can do about either, because, you know, people are going to gravitate towards who they're going to gravitate towards. But can we not maybe start with matrimonial agencies who put that as one of their options? Should that not even be an option, skin color?
I think everything's driven by consumer demand. And people demand skin lightening, they'll get skin lightening. If people demand for a Shadi.com profile to contain the skin color, then Shadi.com will put the skin color on there.
No, but Abdul, before you mentioned the eye drops that change your eye color, you know, if we didn't have that option to permanently change our eye color with drops, then we wouldn't. Then we'd have to be okay with the color of our eyes that we were born with.
I think as a business owner, one is forced to try out different things and see whether the market catch on to it. And if they do, then they push towards developing it. But it's still, again, it's still consumer-led.
Well, why not do a lotion that highlights our brown skin and just makes it look even more brown, or surma that brings out how dark your eyes are? Why not enhance features and qualities that we're already born with?
But isn't that still changing yourself? It isn't put
No,
some
but you're not changing it. If it's you're not altering the way you look, you're enhancing it. So instead of a cream that makes you whiter, how about a cream that just makes you look the way you do, but with clearer skin?
Personally, I feel why wear any makeup at all?
Very interesting. Seema, what do you think? Do you think that wearing makeup and lightening your skin is the same thing?
No, not at all, because you have the option to whether, like you say, you do have the option if these people want to change their skin color. But my opinion is some people don't actually look good with makeup at all. And I think some people are very, very beautiful naturally. But it does come down to this sort of inner ground where you have that infound confidence, but you need support around you as well, like, from families and friends, and not to sort of bring up this issue. And if you have that acceptance, then I think that's where we can sort of start moving forward, because I really do not believe, I am actually against sort of the skin lightening, because what sort of just happened to just your natural beauty? Yeah, we may enhance it with our makeup, but again, we have the choice to take it off. But once you're a fairer skin, I reckon maybe the notion that might happen, that all these people are going to have fairer skin, and then the new fad is going to come in for everyone to be tanned. Like currently, there's this new term called dusky tan.
Okay.
I don't know that much about it right at the moment, but this is something that I tend to look into. And it's basically how the girl was saying earlier about she's so fair, and sometimes there are a lot of fair girls who feel that they look a bit too pale, too ill-looking almost, and so therefore they want to get a bit darker.
Is that dusky tan, is that for Asians?
For Asians, in particular, my resource in particular just said it was some places like in Bangalore, they have tanning shops and sun bronzings, and that's for people who are fairer, who want to be darker, and that's from our culture. And I think you've got a nice little shift there, but where are we going to sort of find the balance? And I think that's what we sort of need to do somehow. And I think it's going to be a very difficult thing, because you can't sort of click and change someone's opinion. That's been there since they've been brought up.
The stuff that we sell is natural, and it's safe, and it's legal. A lot of makeup isn't natural. It's created from all sorts of weird and wonderful chemicals that are bad for you, that can block your pores up, that can give you acne, that can give you rashes. Now, is it okay to be temporarily beautiful rather than permanently beautiful?
Abdul, you're raising a very interesting point, and I want to talk about it a little further, but we'll just take a little break and be back after this short break.